Hi there, Sherry Schreiber of GettingBetter.com with some more naked truth for you. I have a tool for you today, so you might want to get a pencil and paper because you might want to take notes about this tool and how to use this tool. And this is a self-worth building tool. It's actually an inner child repair tool because I've always believed that it's impossible to heal the adult self if we're not going to attend simultaneously to the little boy or girl inside. So this tool will help you start to heal the little girl or boy inside you. I want you to write on your paper the word list, just in capital letters at the top of your page, list. And then right beside where it says list, and in parentheses, I want you to write the word recognition. Recognition. Now, if we break the word recognition down, this is a tool I've used in my practice for eons. If we break the word recognition down, it's recognition. What do you suppose recognition means? If you've guessed that it means rethinking, because cognition is the act of thinking, you're right. You got it right. So in this particular instance, we want to help you start rethinking you. Thinking again about you, thinking differently about you. And this is a really, really useful self-worth building tool. It's going to help you heal the little boy or girl inside you. Now, a lot of therapists talk about inner child work and all this other stuff. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I've just gone about the work that I do and in the ways that I've done it. And I've just taken this intuitive, spiritual sort of journey into helping people heal their life. And this is one of the tools that I've used pretty regularly in my practice. There's only like 4 or 5 tools. I mean, really. There's not like 20, 30, 40, 50 tools that'll help you turn your life around. It's just like 4 or 5 tools. It's just a little handful of tools. That's all you need. Recognition. We want to help you start recognizing yourself anew in different ways. We know that if you're listening to my videos, you've been hard on yourself. Your whole life you've been hard on yourself. Oh my God. Merciless to yourself. Brutal to yourself. Eviscerating yourself every day. You're an emotional cutter. You remind yourself of past mistakes ad nauseum. You're still beating yourself up for mistakes you made maybe 30 years ago. This is ludicrous. It's stupid. You would literally have to believe that you're an absolute total idiot or moron to think that you have to keep reminding yourself of past failures so that you don't repeat them. This is ridiculous. Because the bad feelings that we have right after we make a mistake, the regret we have, the shame we feel, whatever, is enough to alert us we don't ever want to make that kind of mistake again. So if you feel bad soon after you made an error, that's enough to teach you what not to do again. Okay? So quit beating yourself up for past errors. This is bullshit. Don't do it. It's ridiculous. and it drags your energy down and it depresses you. So don't do this stuff. And every time you say something mean or shaming or guilting or critical to yourself, you're re-injuring the little boy or girl inside you. My God, your inner child is still bloody and bruised from everything he or she had to survive in childhood. Why would you want to keep re-inflicting pain on this tender little part of you? It doesn't make sense. So I'm giving you a tool today to stop that shit. Because you can never really be joyful and truly happy as long as you're doing this to yourself. You can't. It's impossible. I was just thinking, it's like kicking yourself in the nuts, 80 times a day. When you're hard on yourself, when you beat yourself up. Stop it. Quit it. Go watch my video. Quit being hard on yourself. All right, here we go. Power tool. You want to start recognizing what you do pretty well. Doesn't have to be perfectly. Doesn't have to be stellar. You just want to kind of walk through your day in your mind, an evening in your mind's eye, and think of the things that you do, just everyday little trivial tasks that you do pretty well. Maybe it could be you did a good job flossing your teeth last night. Maybe it could be that you practice excellent oral and physical hygiene, or one or the other. Maybe it could be you do a great job washing your car. Pardon me. Maybe it could be that when you do a wash, you do a laundry, you do a good job separating your colors from your whites, and you do a great job folding them. Maybe when you're on your way to the supermarket, you're thinking to yourself, man, I hope my favorite crackers or sausages are on sale because I'm going to buy up a truckload of them and save myself some money. Maybe you're a good bargain hunter. Maybe you're really responsible with money. So these things will go on your list. I'm wonderfully responsible with money. And frugal. Or I do a great job washing my car. Or I practice really excellent oral and or physical hygiene. They're both physical, but technically speaking, we can break them up. I load the dishwasher really well. I really utilize that space, boy, really well. Maybe you're well organized. Maybe you're an organized person. But here's the deal. The conscious and the subconscious mind have to hear these things as a compliment. So you can't just make a statement to yourself. I could say to myself, I'm very well organized. But if I said that to you, you're very well organized, would you necessarily hear it as a compliment? Well, maybe I won't either. But if I said to myself, I'm marvelously well organized, I'm wonderfully well organized, now my conscious and subconscious mind are going to hear this, take it in, ingest it. And with repetition, that's going to become something that I can own. That's going to become something that's true for me. Not just intellectually true, but cellularly true in my body for me. In other words, there's emotional integration with it. I do a good job making my bed in the morning. I do an excellent job of manicuring my facial hair. Not manicuring. I do an excellent job of maintaining my facial hair, or I do a marvelous job shaving my face, getting a nice close shave. Because let's face it, guys, when you first began shaving when you're like 16, 17, 18 years old, you made some slip-ups, didn't you? When you were first starting to get the feel of that razor and how much pressure to put against your skin to get a nice close shave, and what angle to hold that razor at to get a nice, close, clean shave. Didn't you nick and cut yourself in those early years? But lots of practice, lots of years doing this stuff. I mean, Christ, you could probably do it in the shower without a mirror even. You just go by feel. And you're stretching the skin, and I used to be a barber. You're stretching the skin, making it nice and tight so that the skin doesn't ripple and you don't get a nick or a cut. And you're doing this with your upper lip so you get a nice, clean, close shave under your nose. You know what I'm talking about, right? But the point here is that you can do that in no time flat. Same with you ladies shaving your legs. Man, you can whip through shaving your legs in no time flat. I mean, it may take 5 minutes to do both legs. Zip, 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 you lather them up, or you do them in the shower, soap them up a little bit, and zip, 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 and you've got both legs shaved. And you haven't nicked yourself. This takes practice. You've become expert at this. So why not give yourself a little stroke? A compliment for it. I do a terrific job shaving my legs. Or I do a great job getting a really close shave on my face, or maintaining my short beard and sculpting it, or whatever. Okay? So you want to think of things that are trivial, just everyday little things that you can recognize about yourself and give yourself a little compliment on. Little tiny itty bitty things that you would take for granted about yourself, never ever think to compliment yourself on. And you want to give those compliments even though a 4-year-old wouldn't be shaving. The idea is that it's a trivial, little, simple skill that you've acquired, that a 4-year-old might be happy to receive as a compliment and feel proud about. So whether you are really expert at loading the dishwasher or washing the dishes in the sink, scrubbing those pots and pans, making your bed. Maybe some of you guys polish your own shoes. I used to polish my own shoes and shine them. And I had every color of shoe polish imaginable because I have all these high-heeled pumps in a myriad of colors. I used to do a damn good job of it. So whatever it is you can think of as you walk in your mind's eye through your day, okay, you're thinking of little itty bitty things, trivial things that you can compliment yourself about. Give yourself a little stroke for. Stroke is a compliment. Excuse me, and congratulate yourself for. Okay? You're so busy eviscerating yourself every goddamn day and tearing yourself down and tearing yourself apart, you never think of the stuff that you actually do pretty well. That you can compliment yourself on, that you can notice, that you can recognize in yourself. So start with a little list and let it grow. Now you don't want it to grow to more than 12 items on your list. 12 little compliments that you can actually believe about yourself. Simple things, trivial things. Itty-bitty things, no big grandiose adult compliments. None of that shit is allowed. Because we're trying to heal the little 3 to 4-year-old inside you, right? Who's still bleeding and bloody and bruised and battered. From your childhood, that was bad enough, but then you've continued that abuse to him or her. That has to stop. It has to stop now. Yesterday was the last day you were allowed to beat up on your little boy or girl inside. Really, stop that shit. Quit it. Now we have this little list, and you don't have to have 12 items on it, but that's the maximum. That's the maximum you're allowed to have on your list. And you're going to read this list to yourself morning and night. So twice a day you're reading this list to yourself. This recognition list of you. And one of those times has to be out loud. My single clients over the years, I would encourage them to read this list when they're in bed, their heads on the pillow at night, to read this list aloud to themselves. If there are other people in the house and you don't want to make any noise, whisper it. Form the words with your mouth of these little compliments on your page to you, to that little boy or girl inside. Go to sleep with this positive infusion of these recognitions about you, my dears. I had a client for a very short time. I think he had sent his girlfriend to me who was a borderline years ago. And she did a few sessions with me and then couldn't afford to keep working with me. And after she stopped working with me, he called me and he wanted to work with me. He was some kind of life coach at the time. Very successful dude, I understood. Some kind of life coach type dude. And I began to give him this tool one day. And he said, "Oh, I'm not doing that. No fucking way I'm doing that. That's ridiculous. That's stupid. That's silly. I'm not going to do that. That's so pedestrian. I'm so beyond this. I've done every kind of therapy there is to do in the world. I'm light years beyond using something like this for myself." That was his adult self speaking to me, okay? But this is a guy who at the same time told me numerous times, how worthless he felt. That was his little boy talking to me. And that's why he probably has continued to date borderlines. What can I tell you? Welcome to my world. You cannot heal the adult self unless you're also simultaneously repairing that little battered boy or girl inside. You cannot heal the adult self. I'm sorry. You can think you're pretty terrific. You may be CEO of a company. You may own your own company. You may be a multi-millionaire, and I've had those people in my practice. I have. But they're just as depressed and empty and feel as worthless as you do. Because nobody's helped them repair their inner child. Nobody. We have to repair the self-esteem of that child who's 3 to 4 years old and feels he or she has no value. None. Because they grew up with the critical parents, demanding parents, narcissistic parents, borderline disordered parents, who could only find fault in the child but never gave the child kudos or strokes or congratulations for doing something well, even if it was learning to tie their own shoes. You can plant a seed in fertile soil. But if you don't put that seed in a warm spot where it can receive sun and some warmth, and you don't water it regularly, that seed is not going to germinate and grow into a beautiful plant. It's the same with us humans. So while you're busy beating yourself up for what you think are your past errors, and you're not giving the little boy or girl inside some tenderness and warmth and positive mirroring and kudos and encouragement for what they do pretty well, how can they ever grow up to have healthy self-worth, feel like they're lovable or good enough? Can't happen, my dears. So I want you to use this tool. And I want you to use this tool for about a year or two. Now, after you've gotten several items on your list, I usually helped my clients start with 4 or 5 items, whether it was the shaving thing or the making the bed thing or the washing the car thing or wherever the hell it was. And then they could build on that list themselves in their own time. After several months of reading this list to yourself twice a day and once out loud, you're going to start to feel like you can own these things about yourself. The little boy or girl inside is going to feel some relief, less depression, a little more vitality and energy. You'll start to feel a little pride in yourself because you're recognizing things about you you've never had opportunity to recognize before. Goes without saying. And you'll start to feel like you can own these things. They won't just be held on an intellectual level. None of this I'm good at golf stuff, okay? Really, everyday, simple, little, trivial stuff is all I want in this list. And you'll start to own these things. So after several months of using the same list over and over and over again, this repetition, and you're now reprogramming yourself, okay? You are reprogramming yourself and knocking that negative tape that likes to play 24/7 out of the ballpark. Some things you'll come to incorporate and own on a cellular level in your body. You will. You'll just know it. You'll finally come to claim it and own it. So you can take maybe a few things off at that point, if it's feeling kind of monotonous, to keep reading to yourself the things you've finally accepted is really true about you. And you can replace with a few new things. But never at any time are you to have more than 12 items on this list. I used to start off with 20 years ago, 20 items, no more than 20 items. Then it went to 15, now it's 12. Well, in recent years anyway, while I was still working. Because I want you to, in your mind's eye, when you're reading this list, either silently or out loud. Here I am talking with my hands today. Must have some Italian in me. We don't want to take a long time to read this list twice a day to ourselves. We want it to take a little bit of time. We want to not go through it by rote, but really see these little strokes in our mind's eye as we're reading this list, either silently or aloud to ourselves. You can make a copy of this list. You can keep one copy on your night table so you can read it in bed to yourself before you go to sleep. A really great way to enter into dream state and sleep. Positive infusion, my dears. Reprogramming the negative tape, getting rid of it altogether. It's not okay if you still beat yourself up a little. You're not allowed to beat yourself up at all. It's bad for you. It tears down your emotional and physical well-being. Stop it. Quit it. This is another tool like the cancel tool. When in my video, quit being hard on yourself, quit that shit. This is another self-worth building tool, and you're using this one in particular to heal your inner child. And that little boy or girl is going to be with you till the day you die. He or she isn't going anywhere. You're not going to outgrow that kid. You're not going to leave them behind. They're going to be with you on the day you die. This is a lifelong relationship. Better get into a friendly, nourishing, kind, loving, caring, tender relationship with this part of you. Because this is the part inside of you that's been feeling not good enough, unlovable. Worthless isn't actually a feeling state. It's an interpretation on other emotions like depression, sadness, anger, emptiness, boredom. It's the interpretation, the spin you put on those other feelings that make you call it worthlessness. But worthless isn't actually a feeling state. Okay? So do this, please, and start to heal and start to repair your little boy or little girl, because they've been black and blue long enough and bloody. It's enough already. Okay? Thanks for listening. If you like my videos, it will cost you nothing to hit the little subscribe, the little red subscribe button on my channel. And Then you will automatically get alerted via email on your computer, or just you'll get a little sign up in the right-hand corner that I posted a new video, and yay, there's something new to watch. Okay, so if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be an easy way for you to know I've uploaded new stuff. Okay, I hope you do. And if you don't, that's okay with me too. You can give me a thumbs up. You can give me a thumbs down. If you think I'm full of shit, give me a thumbs down. If none of this stuff that I post makes sense to you, if you think I'm a quack and you don't think any of these tools are helpful potentially to you and will help you literally heal your life, give me a thumbs down. I won't be offended. It's just not your thing. Okay? All right. Use this list. Morning and night. Start your day with it, end your day with it. Infuse your little boy or girl with these recognitions, little tiny things they can feel proud about, good about themselves with. Goodbye, good luck, and God bless.